So we want to avoid what we've probably all had as a bad experience in a prayer time of people giving too much information in their requests, people not giving enough, the session that just turns into a gossip session, or maybe a time that's just focused on only a few things like people's health needs, or just focused on a few certain families or a few certain individuals. We want to avoid those things while still praying for the things that we need to pray for. So I'm going to suggest 3 different ways we can focus, and we can combine those, certainly. One is we can accept requests, and I think that that's important. Even though sometimes it can degenerate, I still think it's important for us to love one another by bearing one another's burdens before the throne. But I think beyond that, we can have prayer meetings where we just focus on one specific need. It may be that there's a need in the community or some sort of national tragedy or disaster that's happened, and we focus our time on just praying deeply for that one thing. I know a group that meets once a month just to pray for the persecuted church, and that's all they pray for is the persecuted church, and that's their focus, and that allows them to pray from all different angles and bring the promises of God to that one issue of the persecuted church. We can pray for things like elections, we can pray for the big decisions that our churches are making. So we may have a time where we just say, you know what, we're not taking requests, the only thing we're praying for is this one thing. And then another thing that we can do is we can bring in a more systematic approach to our praying, where we have a list of all the people in the church, and we're taking names, or all the people in our group, and we're praying at each time for a different person or a different family. And I think in that way, then nobody is missed either, and we make sure, even though one person might not have a crisis in their life at that moment, but they still need prayer. We all need prayer. So we can do that with a directory. We can do that with a list of the missionaries that our church supports. We can do that with a list of ministries, the different ministries that we have or that we support. All of those would be ways that we make sure that we don't miss anybody when we pray.